So the first characteristic was objectivity. In objectivity, what did we see? It refers to the fact that if two or more persons independently study a particular event, both of them to a great extent should arrive at the same conclusion, which is completely opposite to subjectivity. In subjectivity, what happens? The opinion or the viewpoints that I have might be totally different from that of yours. So, scientific research or the scientific method tries to study events or phenomena or behavior based on objectivity. That's objectivity is one factor. Then the second one is, that is the second characteristic of scientific research, is that it follows a systematic procedure. Systematic procedure means it has well-defined steps of investigation. So the first one was objectivity. Now the second one is systematic procedure. Systematic procedure means we are going to learn that steps. We have certain steps to be followed or stages to be completed before we finally take up the research or we finally conclude the results from the study or research. So that is about systematic procedure. And it is in your textbook, there is a sentence: the scientific method attempts to study a particular event or phenomenon in an objective, systematic, and testable manner. Testable manner is another feature. So in physics, chemistry, mathematics, and all, we have certain instruments or tools to measure something or to test something. Similarly, in psychology also, we have certain tools, certain methods that we follow in order to measure things. Yes. So that is the basic introduction to steps in conducting scientific research. And these three, which were they? Objective, systematic, and testable manner. These are the characteristic of a scientific research. Now we move on to the steps. The steps that we have to follow to conduct a scientific research or inquiry. The first step is conceptualizing a problem. Who would like to share? Sana. Oh, Sana, I have been asking too much. Who? Elvina then. Tell me. What is something, which topic were you interested in to do a research on? Or what was that that you wanted to study? Any behavior or any specific concept? Is there anything like that? Any simple behavior?
Behavior.
No? You're not getting anything right now? Okay, leave it then. Let's take an example, maybe. Okay, I am studying the intelligence. Intelligence of the students in psychology class. Let it be that example. So, conceptualizing a problem. That is the first step of doing the scientific research. What I do is, I try to find the topic of interest. I read earlier studies, I go through different researches that has already taken place. I see different variables. I see different attributes that is to be studied. I might have intelligence, memory, learning, your aptitude, your attitude, your interest. I might be interested in all these topics. So I keep on reading. I keep on understanding things. I keep on reviewing things. We term that as review of literature. We review different literature. We read from internet. We read from earlier researchers. We read from journals, and we finalize a particular topic. That is what happens in conceptualizing a problem. In figure 2.1 given in your textbook, page number 24, there is a picture depicting the steps in conducting scientific research. The first step, that is conceptualizing a problem, and under that you have selecting a topic for study. So that is the basis of the first step. Okay, and we'll see in detail what happens there. The process begins when a researcher selects a theme or topic for study. So in our example, I have selected the intelligence of class 11 students, class 11C. Let it be like that. Okay. Then this, research questions or problems for the study are formulated. Problem is based on the review of past researches. That was what I told you before. I read through different researches or journals that was researches published in journals that was conducted earlier, and I decide what I am going to do a study on. And observations. Yes, I observe you when you come to class. I observe you during online class. That's all. That is a part of deciding which topic that I have to do a research on. And personal experiences. Yes, I have certain personal choices. I might be interested more in learning in intelligence theories. So that might be a reason why I chose this particular topic. Then problem is based on the review of past research. I told that point, right? Then problem indicates the relationship between variables. For example, what is the relationship between reward and classroom learning? We'll just stick on with our example now. After formulation of problem, the hypothesis is formed, which is the tentative and testable statement about the relationship between two variables. Yes. So in hypothetical deductive method, we learned about hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? Hypothesis is something that we derive from a theory. If we have a theory at hand, then we derive the hypothesis based on the theory. And the hypothesis is just a statement, a tentative statement. Tentative means we are not too sure about it. We can either accept the hypothesis after the research, or we can reject the hypothesis after the research. So I am setting a hypothesis here that there average intelligence of your class would be around 120. The IQ intelligence quotient would be 120. I said that as a hypothesis. Just imagine that I said that as a hypothesis. Now, yes, in psychology, we study a diverse range of problems related to behavior and experiences. These problems may be related to several different topics. So I selected a topic called intelligence. This is just a mini research. This is actually research is not conducted like small examples like intelligence or memory and all. They conduct in a vast area, in vast number of people, in a larger sample or larger population regarding different variables or psychological attributes. To make you understand, I'm taking this topic as intelligence among our class. Okay. Yes, and the diverse problems are given in your textbook, that is understanding our own behavior, maybe any other individual's behavior, how group behaviors occur, how groups influence our individual behavior, how our individual behavior affect the group's behavior. All those problems can also be studied in a scientific research. But now we are dealing with the simple problem to understand the steps further. Okay, so what did we do now? We conceptualized the problem. We understood that this particular topic is important. So we decided on researching or doing the scientific research on this particular topic, which is intelligence. Then that was the first step. And the second step is collecting data. The second step in conducting scientific research is collecting data. Here, after deciding the problem, or after deciding the hypothesis, after setting the hypothesis, after deciding the topic of research, we can't just go to the population and collect the data. So I have decided that I am going to study the intelligence of these students, but I can't just come the next day and give you some sort of test and then go back home, get the result, interpret the result, and finish off the research. That's now how it is done. First and foremost, when we plan to collect the data, what we have to do is we have to write down and set a blueprint of what we are going to do. And 4 main things have to be noted while while engaging in this particular step of collecting data. The first thing is participants in the study. Means from whom am I going to collect the data from? So in this school, we have different teachers, we have non-teaching staff, we have different students from lower classes, higher classes. We have the workers, other workers here. We have parents coming here to meet the teachers. So from whom should I collect the data? That has to be fixed before starting to collect the data. So that is the first thing, that is participants in the study should be decided. Now the second one is methods of data collection. So how am I planning to collect the data? Am I just going to observe you? Am I going to conduct a survey? Or am I going to conduct an experiment? I have to decide which method am I going to follow. Then the third one is tools to be used in research. So if I'm doing a survey, then I should plan if I have to do an interview or give you an inventory or a questionnaire or maybe multiple MCQ questions. Such things has to be decided. Or am I conducting, if I am conducting a memory span test or attention test, then there are separate tools for that, separate instruments for that. Am I using that? I have to decide on the tools of the, tools of research. That has to be studied. So what all did we see? The participants, the methods of data collection, the tools. Then the fourth thing is procedure for data collection. That is, am I going to apply these tools in singular, that is to individual person or the individual student, or am I going to give you as a whole, as a group, or am I planning to give it through online social media or through Google Forms? I have to decide on that too. So in collecting data, we have to first fix the blueprint. In that we have participants, the methods used, the tools used, and also the procedure that is to be done. After fixing all these things, we have to actually collect the data from the decided participants using the decided methods and decided tools and decided procedures. So if I'm planning to conduct an intelligence test, then I have decided the participants that I am collecting from the psychology students of class 11C. And what else was there? Method. I am using observation method. That is one thing, I will be observing you while you do the test. Then another method that I would use is survey method. I would conduct a survey, and I might give you tools for that. Intelligence tools are there, separate tools are there. There are different domains for intelligence being measured. So I would give that tools to each one of you, and then I'll test your intelligence. And the procedure, I would collect you as a group in a class, and then I'll be administering to each one of you. That is how I have decided. That is the process of collecting data. So from this, from this particular step, I get so much information from each one of you. So each one of you is a sample in my study. Understood? So that is about collecting data. Now, yeah, this I discussed about, right? The procedure. Yeah, after that, actual data collection takes place. Now, next one is drawing conclusions. The next step is to analyze data to understand its meaning. The graphical representation of data is made using bar diagram, pie chart, histogram, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, etc. The purpose of analysis is to verify a hypothesis and draw conclusions accordingly. So we have got a result. And what we do is we have to score accordingly, and we finally get a result. We have to interpret that result. In intelligence, you'll be getting it in the form of IQ. A score will be there for each test, and we, based on different formulas, we convert that into intelligence quotient. And I've got several different scores for each one of you, and I have averaged it. Just imagine that I have averaged it and kept. So in this step, what happens? Analyze the data to understand its meaning. So I analyze each one of your data, I interpret it, I write a report on it, and then I decide, I try to match this with my hypothesis. And here what happens again? This can be represented in the form of bar diagrams, pie chart, histogram, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, etc. So since I can't express this in the form of a histogram also, I would go for a mean. The average would be given. The average intelligence quotient of your class, I can mention that. So we have different forms of representing the results that we get from a research, and it can be done in multiple forms also. If you want, you can include the pie chart, include the bar diagram, histogram, mean, median, mode. If it is possible, if your data is like that, you can include as many as you want. Then the purpose of analysis is to verify a hypothesis and draw conclusions accordingly. So suppose that what was the hypothesis that we kept in the first step? The average intelligence would be 120. That's what the hypothesis that I kept. And somehow the average that I got after this particular research was 140. Let it be 140. So what I do is I try to match this result with my hypothesis. And my hypothesis, regarding my hypothesis, it is 120. And what I got after the research is 140. So I reject the hypothesis. Understood? And I try to, if possible, I myself do the research again. Otherwise, somebody else might revise this particular research. And otherwise, we can just stop there and write the result as the hypothesis is rejected. The average was found to be 140. And suppose if the result was 120 itself, that is the average intelligence came to 120, then I would accept my hypothesis and we'll write the results according to that. We'll write it in a descriptive manner. We call it discussion. We discuss the results. We have the results in the table and then we discuss the results. We have to write 1, 2, 3 pages depending on our results, and we have to explain as well as describe what is the result of the study. That is what happens in the last step, that is revising research conclusions. So from drawing conclusions, here we analyze the data, we interpret the results, and then we verify the hypothesis. We try to see whether the hypothesis that we already set in the first step is true or not. And then we revise research conclusions. The research begins with the hypothesis, yes, that we know. Then researcher sees whether the conclusions support this hypothesis or not. That is seen here. Then if conclusions support the hypothesis, then it is confirmed or accepted. If the conclusion that we found from our study, the study that we did now, if it matches the hypothesis, then the hypothesis is accepted or confirmed. If it doesn't match, then it is rejected. Okay. If it is not confirmed, researcher revises or states an alternative hypothesis or theory and again tests it, and the same process continues. So that is why scientific research is not a single step process. Even if we do a small study, even if we do a large study, the results that we expect might not be the one at the end of the research. And that's the basic 4 steps in research. And if this question is asked based on your marks, you have to draw that diagram, that is figure 2.1. Mark that as important in page number 24. Steps in conducting scientific inquiry. Understood? So who is ready to give me an example regarding the steps in data collection or scientific research? Who can do that? I just want to know if you guys understood it or not. Try any example from your life. Any simple example is enough. Yes, come on. Who is ready? Come on, anybody? Sana and Rishma, I can't see you. Okay, yes, you're visible now. Yes, anybody? Aishwarya, can you try?
What's the question?
I mean, can you give an example regarding these 4 steps? I mean, take any example and then describe based on these 4 steps. Anything you wanted to do a research on? Any simple topic that comes to your mind? Anybody? Just think, anything that you were curious about, anything you wanted to find out. Yes, Amal, do you have something? Do you? Elvina? No? Ashish? Rishma and Sana, I can't see you. I don't know why. Any example, any simple example? Might not be psychology then. Anything, any science. Anything related to your life. Anything. It is scientific research, so it applies to all science. So you can take example from anything. If you're pursuing your career in psychology or if you're learning this course in psychology, you will have to do a research anyways. Even if you're doing other degrees also, you will have to do a research. So start thinking about it right now. Yes, Krishma, do you have something? No? Not yet? Okay, then think about it and let me know. Let that be today's assignment then. Think about a topic and decide what you want to study. Whichever simple topic it might be, it's okay. I'm okay with it. And what you have to do is just the way I explained the process, that is based on how I studied the intelligence of the students of this class. You have to try and explain how you would do a research on that particular topic. Understood? Yes. Just try. Just give it a try. Even if it's wrong, it's okay because this is the first time and you have a lot more to learn in this particular research topic. We have so many concepts coming under this chapter. So it's okay. Even if it's wrong, it's okay for me. You just try. You give it a try. Okay? That'll be today's assignment. And yeah, that's it. And rest of the portions I think we'll deal with in the next next class. And again, we have enough time. So let me, before that, I always forget to tell you this. In the back text in page 188 of your textbook, you have something called glossary. And in that, you have definitions of all the bolded things in your chapters. Okay, so try and learn the definitions because that is a common thing to ask for the questions with less marks. These definitions might be asked. So mark when we finish each chapter, go to the glossary and mark the definitions. Mark the ones that are bolded in here and learn them. Okay, don't forget that. And yes, that's all about today's class. And do you need any other revision for the portion that we dealt with today? What all did we learn? We started the new chapter, methods of scientific inquiry. Then we began with, what did we begin with? What did we learn the second class? I can't hear you. Is anybody answering?
Control.
Control. What were
Goals
they?
of psychology.
Goals of psychology. Yes. Okay. Then now we learned about the steps in conducting a scientific research. I hope that is clear. Do you have any doubts? Yes or no? If no, tell me a no, no.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. How many of you have started speaking in psychological terms at home? Ashish and Amal? Not yet? Okay, that's a common thing regarding psychology, students who learn psychology. Even I started telling my mom, yeah, this is that. Why don't you understand? This is this particular phenomena. You will not understand. Only psychology students will understand. My sister, I have a sister of your same age. She's in +1 now. And she would hear all these things. She would register all those terms in her mind. And when the next situation comes, what she does is she'll repay me. She'll tell me, Sneha, why don't you understand? This is this particular phenomena. Don't you know? Don't you learn psychology? She would ask me back. So I was thinking last day about you guys. Have you started using? And what did you start speaking? What did you start speaking about? Aishwarya?
Like, sometimes my mother comes to me and asks, why am I getting so angry? So I tell her, that's how it's nothing new. That's usual. It's a human behavior.
Okay. And Elvina?
Sister done something, or my mother also done doing something, or when they done something, I told that for example, one day my mother and mom sister was doing something, so I told them this is a type of behavior and this is a type of behavior, and we started talking as well.
Okay, fine. Okay, so as you keep learning psychology, you are introduced into so many terms in psychology, which the phenomena we might be familiar with, but we won't be knowing its name. So after getting those psychological terms, we might start using it. And finally, the people around you would finally be pissed off with you. Oh, she has started again with her psychology. Can you put your mouth shut? They would finally come and ask you that. Okay, so I think we can wind up our class. And I hope everything is going well till now, right? Yes. And you are having your exams, upcoming exams in October. So start studying now itself. Otherwise, it will be a huge task at the end of the day. And finally, we'll end up with so many concepts because there are so many terms to be studied thoroughly and so many different concepts, the branches, the schools. You will finally get confused with all of it. I have experienced the same thing. That's why I'm telling you. During my, we didn't have, I mean, I was not aware of the course psychology when I did my +1 and +2. But the same thing we learn in during my degree days. The first semester is all about what is psychology and this same basic topics. So I would go confused. Illusions coming this way, hallucinations coming this way, and I am with schools of psychology. The only thing I remember is the name of the school that I studied, and finally everything would go topsy turvy. So start studying. Okay. Okay, so I leave you. We have had 3 classes. I hope it's enough for today. Okay then. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.